Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to make a better hose for my Vevor 35-gallon gas can. It actually came with a provided hose, but I've been getting some leaks around the hose. I've tried to cut it and I still been getting some leaks. So I actually took an extra hose that I had around the garage that's formulated for gasoline, and I installed it on the pump of my Vevor gasoline caddy, and it actually works really well. But I like the nozzle that came inside of the provided hose that actually came with the gas caddy. So in this video, I am going to see if I can shorten up the provided hose that came in the gas caddy and connect it to my spare gasoline hose that I had around the garage, just to make the perfect hose for my gas caddy. So stay tuned to this video, and I'm going to just work on shortening up the provided hose to make the perfect hose for my gas caddy, and then demonstrate how it actually works when I want to fill up a container or if I want to put fuel inside of the gas caddy. So let's get started. So the provided hose normally attaches to the top of the barb fitting on the pump, but this thing is loose. You can see it just, it's not a tight fitting. And the hose that I actually took off, just want to demonstrate, has a tighter fitting, so it doesn't go down there. It doesn't go on there really easily. So I have to kind of use a little bit of work to get it off. Whereas this provided hose, it just kind of goes down on a fitting, so it's not a good tight fitting. I've actually tried to take some Teflon tape and put it around, and for some reason this thing just still leaks. So what I'm going to do here in this video, just going to take a barb fitting. This is a 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch barb fitting. Let's see how it actually fits. So it fits a little bit better. So one of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to take a ear hose clamp, and I want to take one of my ear hose clamps and see if I could get a good, be a little bit tight. Just gonna work that around like so. Put on my barb fitting. And I'm gonna try to put on 2 clamps just to see. I'll take my tool and clamp. Try to put on a bigger clamp. Tighten this down. So I'm gonna take the other end. Push it up on the fitting. Push it all the way up on the fitting. Now I can take my air clamp, slide it onto the fitting. I'm gonna take another clamp. Connect my 1-inch clear hose. Slide the clamp onto the barb fitting. Now I can take my tool, tighten the clamp onto that barb fitting. So we're going to test out the Vevor Gas Caddy to see if it actually flows a good amount of fuel into the jug. You want to make sure you do this in a well ventilated area. So I have put on the ear clamps and I've joined the hose together, and now we're going to see if this thing actually flows fuel. I'm gonna open up my garage door just to get some ventilation. I'm gonna take my ground strap. And the thing about the instructions that came with the Vevor Gas Caddy, it wasn't very specific about the grounding strap. So it didn't say you need to ground the clip to a ground source, or if you need to ground it to the actual equipment that you're filling. So just make sure that you got this thing connected to a good ground source. So I'm gonna take my ground strap and I'm gonna connect it to a ground source. Also on the pump, it gives you a little arrow to tell you which way to turn it. So it's showing an arrow going clockwise. So here we go. Fuel is flowing. Just want to hold this up just so I want to make sure I don't have any leaks or anything coming out. So far I don't see any leaks. And one of the things I kind of like about this particular fuel caddy is that you can actually fill the tank by rolling the pump in reverse. So we're gonna roll it in reverse. Just gonna roll it in reverse. And now it actually sucks the fuel out of the container and puts it into the fuel caddy. So I can fill the fuel caddy by pouring fuel into the fuel caddy, or I could actually suck it out of the container just by rolling the handle in reverse. So it actually works real well. I just need to shorten up this hose. I wasn't sure if it was gonna leak, but it's not leaking. The ear clamps are holding real well, no leaks at all. So all I need to really do is just shorten up this hose, and that will complete the hose modification for this Vevor Fuel Caddy. Shorten this hose up. Now I'm going to take my barb fitting. So now I can take my tube. Tighten down on the ear clamp. Put on a second ear clamp just to be on the safe side. Okay, and now we're gonna attach this to the fuel caddy. So I'm gonna slide this down and attach this to the fuel caddy. So now I can take my tube, my ear clamp tube, tighten down on the hose that's attached to the fuel caddy. And this thing is a lot shorter, and it should make it a lot easier for filling up the containers or taking fuel out of the containers. We got the garage ventilated. I got my fire extinguisher ready, and I got my paper towels just in case we have a leak. So now we can go ahead and start flowing fuel and see how this works. I have the fuel caddy grounded with the grounding clip. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna turn counterclockwise to bring fuel out of the fuel caddy. To put fuel back into the fuel caddy, we're gonna turn the pump counterclockwise. So I'm gonna demonstrate filling up the container. Here we go. I don't see any leaks. That's a good bit amount of fuel coming out. Look at that. So it's coming out at a very good rate. So if I want to take fuel out of the container, it'll flow in reverse. I'm just going to stick my nozzle down into the pump, down into the container, and I'm going to flow this thing counterclockwise to bring fuel back into the fuel caddy. So here we go, counterclockwise. And we're pulling fuel out of the can into the fuel caddy. Flowing it in reverse. There we go, already to the end. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So if I wanted to fill the fuel caddy from the top, just gonna open up this top right here I have on the side. It has a little strainer on the inside. I can leave the strainer there. I'm going to take my funnel, just sit it on the top. So I'll probably put some kind of clip, maybe take some double-sided Velcro. I'll just take some double-sided Velcro for now. Cut that out the way. And now I have a spot here to hang my hose. And I can take the remaining fuel and just pour it into the funnel. Make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area. So you can fill this thing from the top, or you could actually siphon from the container to fill the fuel caddy. And it has a little gauge here on the side that'll tell you how much fuel you have inside of the fuel caddy. So yeah, I like this better, shortening up the hose using a 3/4 inch male to male barb fitting with some ear clamps. And it works a lot better. When I tried to just attach the provided hose to the barb fitting on top of the pump, it was actually leaking. I tried to change out the clamp that came in the kit with a regular screw clamp, and it still leaked. So I end up attaching a small piece of 1 inch clear tubing, which is 3/4 inches inner diameter, 1 inch outer diameter. I attached that to the barb fitting, shorten up the provided hose that came with the fuel caddy, and it works a lot better. And I'm just using some Velcro just to hang this thing up so any fuel wouldn't come back out of this hose. It'd be nice if it came with some kind of cap that you can put on the end of it, but it didn't. So yeah, remove your grounding strap. Once again, the directions didn't say if you need to put the ground strap on the device that you're filling, or if you just need to ground it in general. It didn't say that, but just make sure that you got this thing grounded. Unlock the wheels. And this thing is ready to move around. It even has a little gauge here on the front that'll tell you how many gallons are actually inside of the fuel caddy. If it's all the way up, a maximum of 35 gallons, and it gives you the little measurements right here on the side that tells you how much fuel is in the fuel caddy. So I can roll this thing out of the way. Lock my wheels. So instead of having a bunch of fuel cans stored in the garage, I think it'd be safer to just have the fuel inside of one container, like the fuel caddy. That way it don't take up all of the space in your garage with a bunch of gas cans. Also, make sure you keep a fire extinguisher around the area where you keep your fuel caddy, just in case anytime you're dealing with flammable liquids. Make sure you got a good fire extinguisher. I will include a link where I picked this thing up. It's an ABC fire extinguisher, good for trash, wood, paper, flammable liquids, and it's good for electrical equipment as well. It even came with a bracket that you can mount this thing wherever you want to put it. You could actually put it on the fuel caddy itself. So I may even come up with a way to put this on the fuel caddy, but make sure you got a good fire extinguisher around when you're dealing with flammable liquids. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, put it down in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you a little bit later out here in the Caliente garage.